This is James Knott interviewing Mr. Charles Munn on May 2nd, 1978. Mr. Munn is a Palm Beach resident of very considerable renown. So we are very glad to have this opportunity to ask him some questions about things as they used to be in Palm Beach. Yes, thank you. Now, Mr. Munn, I will proceed to be very businesslike, which is not entirely in keeping with my capabilities all the time. I wanted to ask you about Colonel Bradley, among other people. You know, there's a famous story about the girl who was reputed to have told Mr. Bradley that her husband had lost everything the night before, and he felt so sorry for her because they could not afford the loss that her husband had suffered at Bradley's, and so he told her, as you will recall, that she started crying and carrying on, and he told her finally that he would make up the loss, give it to her, several $1,000s, if she would tell her husband not to ever come there again. And the next night, he saw the young man who she had pointed out as her husband at Bradley's, and he said, "Young man, I thought you were informed that you were not to come here again. Your wife was here, and I told her to tell you that." And he said, "Well, I'm very sorry, Colonel Bradley, but I'm not married. And I don't know anything about about this story." Do you recall that story?
That's a good story. No, I'm afraid I never heard it.
I heard it originated on the beach when the girl overheard a conversation about a loss, and she knew the name of the man who had suffered the loss, and she simply told Colonel Bradley that she was his wife and gave him this long, dreadful story about what a hardship it was. Are there any particular stories that you might recall about Bradley's which you recall now that would be of some interest? Different people and the amounts they'd won or lost, or fussing about some loss possibly to Colonel Bradley, or anything like that?
The one that remains the most vivid in my memory is when Mr. Widener wanted to race down in Miami against Hialeah, and my voice is not too good because I've had an operation on my vocal cord.
Oh, it's good enough. Fine.
But I bought the control of Hialeah Park for Mr. Widener in Paris. Mr. Widener did not want to appear in the deal at all.
Who had owned it, Mr. Munn?
Mr. Bradley.
Oh, he had owned it.
Mr. Bradley had owned it. He had the controlling interest. He had 6,000 shares. And that's about as much as I can remember about it was when the racing started in Palm Beach. Or it started, the Pat Mutual bill had been passed for dogs on Hialeah. And for...
It's about 1931, I guess, wasn't it?
1931, exactly. That's about the only story I remember, except that there used to be 18 private cars down here at a minimum, all at once. 18 private Pullman cars. They were a great sight. They were end to end.
They were parked mostly near the Royal Ponciana?
Parked between the Royal Ponciana and the breakers.
I see.
Luckily, there weren't any there when the fire took place.
There were a good many people, weren't there, who lived in their private cars when they came down, I suppose.
Most of the people lived in their own houses or in the hotel.
I suppose they were about evenly divided frequently between the Breakers and the Roy Ponciano.
Well, there were more at the Breakers. The Breakers were more popular hotel than the Ponciano. The Ponciano was so big.
Yes.
It took you almost around the Gulf to get to your room.
Yes. You know, Gurney Munn Jr. told me a story when he was a boy in the 20s. He said that he was with his father in a private car in which a gambling game was going on in this table there. And there was a lot of money on the table. And he said his father leaned over and said to him, there's over $1 million on that table. And Gurney remembered that from what his father had told him, which I suppose was wholly possible.
Oh, yes. And they used to, these high gamblers used to is this machine of yours working?
Yes, it's working.
Oh, I see.
But, we won't use any part of it that you may want to cancel out later.
No.
But it's working. Who were some of the men who liked to gamble?
Oh, Joshua Cousin
I see.
and
Walter Chrysler?
Walter Chrysler. Nearly all of them liked to gamble.
I see. But mostly in any gambling that went on in the private cars, I suppose, was mostly men, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, that was poker.
Poker.
They didn't have the regular gambling. The gambling was taking place in the casino, in the
Yes.
beach club.
Yes.
They called it the beach club.
Yes.
All short Bradleys.
Yes. They had excellent food there at Bradley's, too,
had
didn't
the
they?
best-
Wonderful dining room.
The best dining room I have ever seen in Florida.
Yes.
And I've been here for over 50 years.
Charles, were you in Bradley's the night Colonel Bradley got advance warning they were going to be raided?
Yes.
You know this story?
I've heard that from Ms. Waterbury. I think it was under Park Trammell when he was governor, as I recall. About 1915, was it, Mr. Munn? Do you recall?
When that year.
When he got word that there was going to be an investigator coming over to kind of a raid to
Yeah.
see if there was gambling going on.
And when he arrived, everybody was sitting around the dance floor, and they were all waltzing or doing the Charleston, which was then the great craze.
I see. Was that before World War I, as you recall, or
That
after?
was before World War
I see. Well, that was an admirable ending for an occasion of that kind. Instead of them finding the gambling going on, I heard that it was reported back to the governor that gambling didn't go on at Bradley's, and that the investigator said that all that went on there was dancing
one. Dancing.
in the gambling room.
Dancing and eating and drinking.
And eating and drinking.
They had a wonderful head waiter called Louis.
Who was Louis?
Louis was the head waiter.
I see. I see. There's a story which appeared once in a magazine about a movie producer who may have been Adolf Zucker, but I don't recall for sure, about how he lost a huge sum of money at Bradley's and charged Colonel Bradley with operating a cheating game of some kind.
A cheating guy.
Well, you know, it wasn't straight. Wasn't straight. and that Colonel Bradley, in front of the other people there, tore up his membership card and asked him not to come in again ever, and gave him back the money that he said he'd lost. Do you happen to recall anything of that nature?
No, I don't, except that Colonel Bradley had the reputation of being the straightest man you ever dealt with in business deals or gambling deals.
Yes, he apparently had a wonderful reputation for honesty.
He was very much appreciated by all. And the bad luck was that his right-hand man, whom he trained from childhood, practically, to an Irishman,
Barry Shannon.
Barry Shannon. He was going to take over the enterprise, the gambling enterprise, after Mr. Bradley's death. But Mr. Bradley died before Barry Shannon. It's just the other way around. Mr. Bradley,
Shannon died first.
Shannon died before Mr. Bradley.
And I suppose that may have been why Colonel Bradley
That's why he made it.
directed that the place be torn down.
Memorial Park. Didn't want another game to be played
Yes.
after his death.
Do you have any idea of what his profits used to be out of his enterprise at Bradley's?
What is?
How much he made there of Colonel Bradley? He had to pay for the expenses of
I
Idle Hour
heard
Farm.
he had an income of almost $2 million a year.
Yeah. I suppose during the Depression that probably went down, but
Well, gambling, there's always money for gambling. That's the way human nature operates.
Flo Ziegfeld used to like to gamble there,
And he was
didn't
a very, very keen gambler.
he? You know, his daughter tells in her book about how
Oh, I
her
haven't
father got in trouble with Billy Burke, his wife, because he was always at Bradley's. And she threatened to leave him and go to some other place because he wouldn't come home when he was supposed to.
When anybody died, Billy Burke always paid their indebtedness. She paid every penny that Flo Ziegfeld borrowed. She made, I saw her the year she, out in California, when she was living out there, she had dedicated her life to paying his debts.
Well, she's quite a wonderful person, wasn't she?
She was a great person.
Very popular here in Palm Beach, too, wasn't she? Was it on her account that Flo Ziegfeld was accepted here to the extent that he
I think
was?
had a great deal to do with it.
Was he, not that it matters because none of us are prejudiced against Jewish people, but was he Jewish? His niece tells me
he
he was.
swears he wasn't.
I see,
And he was a member of the New York Yacht Club.
I see. And they don't take Jewish people?
And they don't, they aren't welcome.
I see. Well, now, was Mr. Chrysler, speaking of that, I've heard that he was Jewish.
Yes, but I don't think they ever went into that.
No. How about Singer, Harris Singer?
Harris Singer.
Well, he wasn't, was he? Or is it
No,
known?
I don't think so.
No. Yes, I heard that Ms. Donahue was one of 3 women who had unlimited credit at Bradley's. I've forgotten who
I think that's probably true.
the others were, but she was one. And I suppose Ms. Moran used to go there a lot, because she was said to be quite fond of gambling.
Kim Moran.
Kim Moran, yeah.
Jimmy, I think when, you probably know it already, when Roosevelt closed the banks in 1933,
Yeah.
Bradley's was the bank in Palm Beach, so to speak, so someplace where money people could get some walking around money.
Oh, I see. No, I didn't know that.
He had all the cash, I think.
Oh, yes. Well, I had heard it said that every morning Colonel Bradley got $500,000 in new bills from a local bank because he wanted to use only new money because it looked good.
Yes, he always did that.
And I suppose that's wholly possible. Do you think that could be true?
Yes, I do.
Do you recall I know you recall Miss Stotesbury quite well, but she was said to have given a concert by Richard Crooks at her house in 1939 at the time that Mr. Paderewski was here, the famous pianist, and it was in his
Prime
honor.
Minister of Poland.
Sir?
He was Prime Minister of Poland
Yes, he was.
at that time.
Yes. And it was said that Mr. Paderewski came, escorted, supported. He was very ill and very frail, and he came supported on each side by a friend, and everyone rose when he entered the room. There were about 200 people, and everyone rose and gave him a standing ovation. And Richard Crooks sang this concert at this event that Ms. Stotesbury had for Paderewski. Were you there by any chance at that time?
Yes, I was.
You were? It seems to me such an interesting and rather touching story. Do you recall just how everything was at the time?
Everything went off beautifully because Mrs. Stotesbury rehearsed the whole procedure before she lay for the reception. It was sort of a musical reception.
Yes.
And she did that also when she received royalty, when the Governor General of Canada, who happened to be a cousin of the King George V, when he came here, she rehearsed everything about courtesy. They'd curtsy to royalty, and those that didn't want to curtsy to anybody were lined up on one side, and those that were not going to
Curtsy.
not going to curtsy were lined up on the other side.
Well, that's getting things straight.
This is shepherd is the sheep and the goats or something.
Yeah. She was quite a charming lady, wasn't she, Mr. Munn?
Yes, she was. You mean Mrs. Stotesbury?
Miss Stotesbury, yes.
Oh, yes. A very, very beautiful woman.
How can we account for the fact, I guess it's fairly obvious, but for the fact that she was not considered one of the inner circle in Philadelphia socially, and yet down here she seemed to take over by force of personality, and didn't she?
Oh, I think she was very much sought after in Philadelphia.
I see.
I think that's a mistake.
I see. Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I know.
Well, if anybody would know, you would.
Well, she was very much sought after.
Perhaps Mr. Stotesbury,
He didn't care for it much,
he didn't care for it very much.
although he did like people to see where his house and see where he lived and how he lived. Now, I know to close this road here, when it was washed away by the hurricane in 1928, I think it was 1928.
Yes, so that's correct.
I had to have a picture painted. There was a Russian artist down here, starving to death. And he was a pretty good artist. And I had him paint a picture of Mr. Stotesbury's house, how it would look with the road illuminated.
Oh, yes.
And that's the only way I convinced him to get his signature to sign the petition.
Is that so? And that picture, I suppose, is in the Stotesbury family now?
I suppose it belongs to the Stotesbury. I gave it to him.
Oh, you did? I see. That's very interesting. You know, Jimmy Cromwell is living in New York now, and I think I may write him. I've had some correspondence with him. I think I might write him and ask him if he has that picture. It's possible, I suppose, that he might have it, since he was Miss Stotesbury's son.
This was about 50 years ago, I should think. It would be hard to trace, as it wasn't a masterpiece.
Well, it's exactly 50 years.
It was a very pretty picture. It was very brilliant colors,
Yes.
with all the palm trees and everything.
I've heard Miss Post speak so well of Miss Stotesbury, and she admired Miss Stotesbury very
yeah.
greatly.
Oh, she was very much admired.
She is apparently very thoughtful of everyone else.
And I know when Addison Meisner, when she got him to build a house for her, it was about 4 or 5 years after this house was built. And she thought there wasn't room enough for the footman to move around in the pantry. So she said, how many footmen do you want? She said, oh, I want at least for 14.
Well, I should say so.
So in those days, footmen were available.
Yes.
And so she had the whole wing torn down, the kitchen wing torn down to enlarge the pantry.
Was that right after her house had been built?
The house was being built.
Was being built. I see. Well, now, I wasn't terribly familiar with the Stotesbury house from the inside. I was only in it once. But it used to be said that every time somebody built a big house in Palm Beach, Miss Stotesbury would add a wing to her house so to keep it the largest. But actually, her house was not as large as some of the others, was it? It was probably as large as Mar-a-Lago.
No, that was larger, and the patio was a wonderful patio. In Mar-a-Lago patio was a wonderful patio.
Yes, beautiful. Well, now, the Dodge house.
The Cosden house.
Cousin house was
That's the
probably.
Dodge house.
Yes, sir.
That was about the biggest house down here at the time.
Yes.
That was larger than the Stotesbury.
The Cosdens were rather delightful people too, weren't they? Wasn't
Oh,
he?
very. They were very nice people.
Someone told me once that they weren't completely accepted here as they had hoped to be, and then Ms. K told me that Mr. and Ms. K both said that was a big mistake, that was utterly wrong, that they were accepted here from the beginning.
Oh, yes. From the very beginning.
When was your house built here, Mr. Munn?
1920.
1920?
1919, 1920.
I see. And your brother's house built about the
My
same
brother's
time?
the same time.
About when was the H.C. Phipps house built? Do you recall?
H.C. Phipps was built a year before.
It was about 1918?
About 1918.
Do you happen to recall the architect that they had for their
Phipps,
house?
no, I couldn't. I don't remember the name. I know there was Beryl Hoffman, built Mrs.
Ms. Guest.
Frelinghuysen house.
Oh, he designed the Frelinghuysen
He
house.
built the Frelinghuysen house.
I see. When was that built?
That was built the same year this was.
I see.
1919, 1920.
I see.
And the same contractor.
And who was that? Do you recall the contractor?
Yes, our first mayor.
Oh, yes, the one that built the Cosden.
Cooper C. Lightbound.
Yes, yes. Yeah, he was a great builder. I see.
My mother told me that Cooper Lightbound used to carry the carpenter's tools from your mother's house up in Charleston, Washington, long before he moved down here.
He came from Washington.
He was assistant carpenter from the carpenter's help working in your mother's house.
Is that so? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Well, now, Ms. Guest House had already been built, hadn't it? The same architect designed that house, I believe. And he also had designed Biscaya, you know, in Coconut Grove. He's still living up at Hope Sound.
He's building a house up there now.
Oh,
who is?
Burrell Huffman.
Oh, really?
You know,
Oh, he's still?
That's what Virginia Munn told me.
Oh, for goodness sake.
It's incredible.
Yeah. I called him on the telephone and I asked him when he built Mrs. Guest House, and he couldn't remember. I don't blame him. But he turned to his wife and asked her if she remembered, and she said no, she couldn't remember.
Well, I remember that.
But I saw a picture once of a house, a big house in Palm Beach. It said it was a Phipps house taken in 1916. And
1916.
yes, and I didn't know whether that could be correct.
Well, that's perfectly possible.
Remember the J. Phipps house next door? Were they built before yours or after?
The Phippses, J. Phipps built his house a year after this house was built. 1921. So that's Casa Bendita.
Yep.
Mr. Munn, who built the Sanford house?
I couldn't.
Was that Mrs. H.C. Phipps' brother?
I don't think it was. I think it was.
I mean, not Ms. J.C. Phipps' brother, but Ms. J. Phipps' brother, Grace, Mr. Grace. Didn't he build the Sanford house?
I think you're right. Now that it comes back to me.
Mike Phipps told me that his uncle built it.
I think Michael Grace built but it wasn't at all as it is now. It was much smaller and much less pretentious.
And was that, as you recall, built before the H.C. Phipps house was built? Wasn't it built about a year before, like 1918? About the same time, perhaps, about 1918?
About the same time. It was all about the same time. There was an Ocean Boulevard and all that kind of thing.
And Michael Grace was Mrs. J. Phipps' brother.
Yes, he was head of the Grace Steamship Company.
And was it his father or grandfather who had been mayor of New York? Do you recall?
I couldn't tell you that.
He was the first Grace here. Came from England via South America. Now, let's see. Do you recall when the first visit to Palm Beach was made by the Duke of Windsor, when he first came here? About what year?
I don't think he came here before the war. To stay.
His first trip when he was the governor of the Bahamas, wasn't
He was Governor General of the Bahamas. That was his war job.
Well, some lady here told me, and she was probably mistaken about the date, but she told me that in 1939, and I made a note of this, that Mrs. Emerson, Maggie Emerson, had a call from Chris Dunphy, and Chris Dunphy said the Windsors were coming here to visit to Palm Beach, and that she must give a luncheon for the Windsors. And she said, the hell I will. And the first thing she knew, she was giving the luncheon because Chris Dunphy persuaded her to do it. And this story said it was in 1939, but I think that date may be off. I may be wrong.
Well, I don't
We
think,
should check the date on when he was governor general
Well, I know, but
during that time.
he could possibly have come to Palm Beach before
And
then.
he's in the Everglades for a while.
I don't think he was married to the Duchess. And I don't think he came on, I never knew he was a bachelor here.
I see.
He was always,
Well, he
married to the Duchess.
he visited Miss Baker, of course, when he was.
The first person he visited was Tony Pulitzer.
I see. That was the occasion you
That
mentioned.
That was the first, when he came over with the Duchess. And Tony had been stationed in the Bahamas in the Royal Air Force. Tony Pulitzer was a member of the Royal Air Force because he had one eye and he couldn't get a commission in the American Air Force.
He was a great fellow, Tony Pulitzer, wasn't he?
He was.
Nice fellow.
He was.
They came over by boat, if I'm not mistaken, too.
They came over by boat.
Because the Duchess had a terrible fear of flying. Couldn't get into an airplane.
Oh, really? This was the story about Maggie Emerson and Chris Dunphy and the Windsors was said to be at a time when Camille Sharp who had worked for your brother Gurney Munn. She was Miss Emerson's secretary at that time. And do you remember the Grand Duke Dmitri? He and his wife Audrey Emery had one of the Breakers cottages, didn't they, for a while?
Yes.
And do you recall whether he died there or not?
No, she died in
Where did he die?
she died here, didn't she?
Oh, he died. Where did he die?
Or where did he die?
Did he die here, or do you
I
recall?
don't think so.
I think in Switzerland.
He died, yeah, no, he died in the United States.
He did?
He did?
I don't think he did.
Oh,
Did he?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
They were divorced.
They were divorced for that time.
yes. I think she died in Cincinnati, I believe.
I did some letters for him one time. He gave me a Russian cigarette.
Oh, he did? Was he a pretty nice fellow?
Oh, Colonel.
Russian crown.
Did he have any particular activity here that he liked to take part in?
He was married to an American,
Audrey Emery?
Audrey Emery, and she liked it here. And he was very popular here. Everybody liked him.
About when did he first come here? Do you recall?
Well, I think it was the year after the Revolution, 1918, I should think.
Oh, quite early. Well, he didn't marry her then, though, did he? Or did he? Was it later or about that time? Paul Elinsky is her son, I
That's
suppose.
right.
So I suppose he did. He did marry her
I think he did.
quite early.
I think he did.
I see.
You know nearly everything. You're much more accurate than I am.
No, I'm not either. I just know enough to try to find out something.
You're fabulous.
Find out some more.
So, now, we have this article here from Fortune magazine in 1936. It tells about Joseph E. Widener and something about you, too, and a lot of other people here. It's quite an interesting article, 1936. And I think you're in one of the pictures in it. He did a lot of entertaining, didn't he, Mr. Widener?
Oh, yes, he built a beautiful house.
He sure did.
It was a bigger house than Mrs. Stotesbury's.
Have you seen that house since Jan Neff Hooker
Now, yes.
did it over?
Now it's all done over.
Looks
Yes,
pretty
I
good,
do.
doesn't it?
It looks very well.
The man that had that house
There
before
you
she
are.
owned it was from Philadelphia, and he didn't have the house looking nearly as good as she has it now. She spent a lot of money on it, I'm sure. I heard she spent a couple of $1 million on it because you hear all these figures. Occasionally, Mr. Munn, someone asked me, thinking that I go to parties, which I don't hardly ever, because for 2 or 3 reasons, one of which is I'm not invited much. But I was telling Reggie that sometimes people ask me if there's any particular party or occasion that I remember because it was sort of outstanding in some way, and I told Reggie that I might ask you if you remembered any particular gathering that you recall as being unusually attractive or memorable.
I'll try and tell you about the first ball that was ever given in the Everglades Club. Paris Singer the war ended unexpectedly, much sooner than he expected. As you know, he was going to make the Everglades Club a retiring home for invalid British officers. And they decided the best and only thing to do is turn it into a club. So they got Walter Warburton and my brother Gurney and myself and the Stotesburys and all to form this club, the Everglades Club. And they had this ball to celebrate the end of the season and the establishment of the Everglades. It was the year before this house was built, or a year before Meisner built any houses here.
Yes.
But he had to be down here with Paris Singer as his guest. And the Everglades, you know, was a proprietary club. It belonged to him, Paris Singer exclusively. And
He ran it completely, didn't he?
he ran it completely, and he had his family as different officers in the club. I think Paris Singer was executive president of the club. And the ball was in full blast. It was going great guns. And everybody in full evening dress with all their jewels and everything. And Addison Meisner was dancing with somebody. And my sister-in-law, Mrs. Mary Louise Wanamaker Munn, all of a sudden lost her underpants.
On the dance floor?
In the middle of the dance floor. And Addison Meisner rushed up with a grand gesture and picked up the underpants and blew his nose on them.
I see. Well, that was a wonderful thing to do because it made it look like a
And it
handkerchief.
made it look like just an ordinary accident.
I think that's a wonderful story.
And the next, well, it's not over yet.
Oh,
The next day, it was pretty late. Things that went to, everybody used to go to Bradley's after the dinners and balls and things like that. They'd stay open till all hours. And somebody had got a hold of this garment and had put it on the flagstaff of the club, which was on the front part. The lake came right up in those days to the base of the club, because
Right by the lake trail?
right by the lake, that's all filled in there
Uh-huh.
now. And the next morning, Paris Singer was furious to see this garment billowing in the breeze.
I see.
And he got one of the caddies. The caddy house was just there underneath where the orange grove is now. To climb up the flagpole and retrieve the undergarments, and they were brought back with great ceremony to my sister-in-law.
Oh, that's quite a story.
That's all.
Huh? Yes, I understand. Well, she was the one who became involved a little bit with the Duke of Spoleto later.
That's right. That's correct. I'm only Spoleto.
Yes. He must have been a man of considerable charm.
Oh, he was a very, very charming man.
But he was
And
married
he
at the
was
time.
very, very big. He was enormous.
He was?
He was about 6'4".
His family started the Spoleto Festival in Italy, and now in Charleston.
Yes, so I understand. There's a very famous family, of course, in Italy.
Well, he was first cousin of the King of Italy.
Yes. Well, the Duke of Spoleto came here and visited the Munns, the Gurney Munns here.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Speaking of Bradley's for a moment again, there was an article in Collier's Magazine, which I recall reading when I was about 15 years old, which said that the amount of money changing hands at Bradley's was more than that at Monte Carlo. Do you think that could have been possible?
No, I don't. I at certain times, I think it might be now, but I don't think that. You know, the Monte Carlo drew from the world.
Yes.
This Bradley's here drew just from the United States in those days.
Yeah.
They didn't go away. The Riviera was the established winter resort.
Yes. Do you think that's probably rather unlikely? I would think so.
I think so. Although Bradley's played with chips, and Monte Carlo in those days played with gold coin.
I see. I see. Well, now, do you recall, to come back a moment to Miss Guest's house, do you recall about when it was it built before the Phipps houses were built? I think it was, wasn't it? About 1916, or possibly as early as 1914, that Burl Hoffman designed for her?
I don't think it was as early as that.
I think it was about 1918, along there, possibly.
Possibly about that time.
See, I'm not able to reconcile seeing a picture marked Phipps House in Palm Beach in 1916 with being a large house.
No.
I don't know where the elder Phipps lived. Where did they live, Mr. and Miss Henry Phipps? The father and mother
I couldn't tell you.
of the Guest. I mean, Ms. Guest
I
and J.
I
Phipps.
haven't the faintest idea.
No. All right.
I was not living down here. I didn't become a resident down here until 1920.
I see. Isadora Duncan was said to have come here in 1919 to visit Paris Singer, and you may not have been a resident then, but did you know anything about that? Or do you know whether she came?
No, I couldn't tell you about that. I didn't know Paris Singer until the Everydays came along.
Yeah. Well, you came here, though, before you became a resident, didn't you?
Oh, yes. My mother had,
Yeah.
for 25 years, a Breaker's Cottage, seaside.
He came when he was still in college and he went to work. On the vacation,
The name had Surfside,
seaside.
Seaside.
It's the little one of the South Three.
Let's see.
I think it's still there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably, yeah, it's next to the end one, it isn't.
Right. There's three by themselves. It's a little. Now, I'm not too sure that some of the Phippses didn't live in the one next door.
The Oceanic.
Oceanic.
That was built for Jay. It was built by the hotel, by the Breakers Corporation.
Yeah. A lot of the Phipps family lived in there
And the,
Did they build
J,
it?
and the J. Phipps lived there.
before they built
It's
this.
a very big cottage. The
Was
biggest
that the one on the end?
on the
north end.
north end.
side. Well, then J. Phipps stayed there, I suppose, more than 1 year, probably.
We lived there into the time when he had his own house, which was 1921.
Yeah.
They had the only doctor down here at that time, right?
Dr. King.
Yeah, well, then the Phippses had their own doctor. I know my mother told me she had a miscarriage in 1914. And the Phippses' doctor was next door. And he practically saved her life.
Oh, really? Well, Dr. Peak came along soon after that, I suppose. The elder Dr. Peak.
Dr. Peak. He was the druggist, wasn't he?
What?
Wasn't Dr. Peak the druggist?
No,
No.
Dr. Merrill.
Dr. Feek.
Dr. Peak.
Dr. Feek, yeah, they call him Doc Feek.
Dr. Peak.
Well, Charlie Merrill's father had a drugstore in West Palm Beach, didn't he, at one time? Did he have that after you came, Mr. Munn? Do you recall?
I didn't know he had a drugstore.
Yes, he had a drugstore where Halsey Griffith's parking lot is. Next door to Halsey Griffith. Charlie Merrill, you know, was a native of Florida, North Florida. And his father had lived in Fernandina before he came down here.
Did he really?
Yes. So,
How long have you lived here?
well, I've only lived in Palm Beach area since 1947. I came down here after World War II, but I was a native of Tallahassee, and I did come to visit my
Oh, yes.
sister, who had much older than I was, who was a physician here in the 20s, in the beginning of 1924, for about 4 years. Her name was Mary Bazemore, and she was associated with Dr. Peak, the elder Dr. Peak.
Well, he used to have an office right down there where the broker's office.
Yes,
With whitewashed windows.
yes, and I think she was there. She was
And
here.
there was two pink houses up beyond that on East Main Street, Old Main Street.
Yes, I do remember that drugstore in West Palm Beach.
Oh, do you?
Because I was playing golf one year with John C. King.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great friend of all the people
Yes.
that started Palm Beach. And he had his house here. And
Bradley later had his house, didn't
Yes. And now his house, it was torn down, and they have the Ocean Way,
Sun and Surf.
Sun and Surf.
he? Oh, was it his house that
No,
they
Rep
made
Rover.
into the Sun and Surf Club?
Rep Rover's house is where the Sun and Surf.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah.
John King was about.
And in
Right.
those
His
days,
house is this
He
way.
in
was on
those
Route
days,
Route Trail.
people had their own private caddies. And
Oh.
it was a very hot day, and we had come in from playing golf, and we went over to the Dr. Feek's drugstore. Clematis Street. And I ordered an ice cream soda for John, and one for myself, and one for the caddy. And I took it out. They wouldn't let the caddy come in the drugstore.
I see.
Dogs and caddies were barred.
Mhm.
And I gave it to the caddy, and the soda water man, or the man who owned the drugstore, rushed out and grabbed the glass before the caddy could drink it, and poured it in the gutter. And he said, "Mr. Munn, you ought to know better to do a thing like that. You'll have that nigger lynched."
Oh, for goodness sakes. The silliest thing I ever heard of.
That's true.
That was Doc Feek.
That was Dr. Feek.
Yeah. Well, sounds awfully silly. Do you remember Mrs. Hamilton Rice?
Oh, yes.
She was quite a charming lady, I guess.
And she has the most beautiful house. And the what they call the brasserie, the paneling, was made in West Palm Beach, and it was just as good as any paneling you could get in Italy. Antique paneling.
And that house, isn't that house owned by
That now owned by
Ms. Mandel?
Mrs. Mandel.
The Lady Champion Rifle Shop.
That's right, the world champion.
Yeah. We all have to behave around her. She'll shoot a hole in us. Well, she and Dr. Rice were here for several years, I suppose.
Oh yes, every year for several years.
And Fascio designed that house for them, I believe, didn't he? Maurice Fascio, didn't he design that house?
I think he did. I think he was the architect.
And then a somewhat similar house he designed for Mr. McEnany down a couple of blocks further south, the Hudson Motor Car Man. That's the house on Via Del Mar, which was owned later by General Robertson, Ralph Robertson, where General Marshall visited after World War II.
Oh yes.
And Eugene Howard owned it more recently, the last 20 years, until he sold it a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So now, years ago, Mr. Munn, before the 1928 hurricane, County Road was not used very much, was it? Wasn't it? Ocean Boulevard, when it was used more?
Ocean Boulevard was used exclusively.
I see.
It wasn't even paved when we gave the right of 50-foot right of way
I see.
to the town.
That was after the hurricane?
That was after the hurricane of '28.
Well, until that time, was there a road through there that people could use?
There was a shell road.
A shell road, a narrow shell road.
that went very narrow. It was about 18 feet. And went up to all the way up to the country club. And the country club was used not for golf. It was used for the live pigeon shooting.
Gun club.
Gun club.
Yeah.
It was the Palm Beach Gun Club.
Now, the gun club building was located close to the lake, wasn't it? On the lake side of the property?
It was a little nearer, yes.
I mean, more toward the lake than it was the ocean.
Yes.
And toward the southern part of the golf course? Of what is now the golf course?
Just about where it is now. But it was a different style altogether. It was
You mean about where the clubhouse is now?
just about where the club
I see.
is now.
I see. Mr. Munn, this may have been before you became a resident here, but you probably knew about it. The road that's cut through the coral rock, or the limestone rock, that
It was cut through during the war.
was cut through during World War I,
During World War II.
was it?
I'm pretty sure. I'm right about
I had understood that it was there originally for drainage for the golf course
that.
property.
It was to divert the traffic from the ocean front to the back because the submarines, on account of the submarines. No, I'm pretty sure it was done during the World War II. How about you, Reggie?
Well, I remember it being very, very narrow as a child. Going through as a bicycle, it used to frighten me to go through. It was just wide enough for one bicycle. I was very young, so I thought the lake trail. Then during the war, as you said, it was wide then for automobiles.
During the war, yeah.
Before the war, it was a little narrow.
That's right.
Just wide enough for one
Second
bicycle.
World
That's
War.
so. That's very interesting.
The Second World War.
Second World War, it widened for automobiles.
That's right.
But before that, when I was a child, it was wide enough for one bicycle at a time to go through. It used to sort of frighten me as a kid going through at the age of 7 or 8 years old. Great big high walls.
Yeah. And it wasn't wide enough then for cars.
That's where High Mount is.
Yep. Why it was made originally, I don't know. Maybe for drainage, as you say.
Well, I had heard that George Coleman, the attorney, you know, that died recently, was the one that told me that. And his memory was not always perfect, but he had a fairly good memory. And that was what I understood from him. That I think the Phipps built that area as a golf course or whatever it was about 1916. What is now the Palm Beach Country Club. But you say originally it was not a golf course. Is that correct?
It was a pigeon shooting.
And about when, as you recall, did it begin to be used as a golf course?
They built the golf course about 1914, 15.
Oh, and before then it was used for the
They
pigeon.
used the Breakers Golf Course. It was used for the Breakers, the customers of the Breakers Hotel. They played their golf there.
Yes, but they used the other property, the Palm Beach Country Club property. They used that as a gun club, I understand. Before it was a golf course.
They did. It was the third hole. They used the corner of the golf club now, or the golf course now, was overlooking the lake trail, and it was where the third tee is now. That's where he used to shoot the pigeons.
And was that where the building was?
No, there was no building. The building, that was the club.
Well, they had a clubhouse, didn't they?
I don't think they had it. I think it was the same clubhouse as, I don't think they had any. I wouldn't like to swear to it, but I don't think there was a
Separate.
separate.
Well, they used the general clubhouse.
I wonder if pigeon shooting is allowed still.
I think so. You mean real pigeons or
Yes,
clay pigeons?
live pigeons.
Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't
Because
think live.
during the war we shot live pigeons.
You mean during World War II?
Yes.
Well, I just didn't know. I'm not sure, but I just would assume that it wouldn't be allowed now. But my wife would think it would be a good thing if they shot live pigeons. There's a lot of other people would too, I guess.
They're messy.
Yes.
Turkey birds.
But anyway, the what is now the Palm Beach Country Club was first used, part of it at least, as a gun club or pigeon shooting club. Correct? And then later, before World War I, was made into a golf course.
That's right.
See, and do you remember about when the clubhouse came into existence up there?
I know.
From the time it became a golf course, for example?
You see, they always had the golf course around the Breakers Hotel.
I see.
That's where Reggie learned to play golf.
Well, they must have had some pretty good instructors there.
They had some pretty good ones. Gordon.
before, which was the old
Bessie
Sam,
Finn.
Mr. Fenn before that, or what?
Well, at the time of the storm in 1928, and prior to then, the only road along what's now County Road was just the narrow shell road, and that wasn't used
Shell
much,
road.
was it? For through traffic, that wasn't used too much, was it? Didn't they mostly use the Ocean Boulevard?
Yes, all together.
I see. And who used the shell road? Just the neighborhood people?
A few people who went. There were a few houses. There was Don Douglas, who has ended up now being the Harrison Williams house.
Yes.
That was a Don Douglas house, you know,
Yes.
the people who give the rating, credit rating.
Oh, yes.
That
Yeah.
was their house. They sold it